So hello and welcome to domytriesthis. I hope you brought your cuppa. Today's coffee mug is from my husband's absolutely expansive Coca-Cola collection. He has Coca-Cola things on the walls. He has Coca-Cola teddy bears. He has a Coca-Cola thingy back here. I think this is one of those old soda dispensers. He's just got Coca-Cola stuff everywhere. So this is one of his coffee mugs. It's one of the few I cannot and will not claim, just because, you know, it needs to be in his collection. As you can see, it says Coca-Cola on it. Delicious. I need to turn it so I can read it. Delicious and refreshing drink. Coca-Cola, 5 cents at fountains and in bottles. And on the back, it actually says 5 cents. So today's tea is the Ahmad tea London lemon and ginger tea that I had trouble with last month. This is from the January Sips By. And I did mention that I was going to try to double it up, so I'm doubling it up today. It did just start steeping, so I'm not expecting a lot of flavor in this particular at this particular time, but hopefully by the end of the video we will see some flavor. However, with a double dose in here, who knows? I'm gonna give it a sip and see where we're starting from. Like I said, it did just start steeping. It's really hot. Ooh, I can smell it. It smells nice. Okay, it's already starting off a bit stronger. Now, this coffee mug is a bit smaller than the original coffee mug that I tried it in, and I have doubled up the tea bags, but I did mention that the Ahmad tea reminded me a great deal of stash tea in the fact to get the tea as strong as I like it, I do need to double up the bags. So we are already starting to get that, and I suspect by the end of the video, we will have a lot of beautiful flavor. Getting the lemon mostly at this point, but it's very, very good, which makes me very happy. I was really kind of disappointed it didn't work so well. Anyway, so today, as you recall, a month or two ago, it's either December, had to be December, I ordered an extra curl box. It was one of their non-subscription boxes. They put one out, sometimes two, every month, I think. Most months, not all the time. I had to skip the one I really wanted because it was $60. But most of their boxes, the non-subscription boxes, can run anywhere from $15 to $60. But do keep in mind that you also have to pay an extra $5 for shipping. So you're looking at $20 to $65, $70, depending on. I haven't really seen anything higher than 60, but I've only been a member for about 9 months, give or take. Anyway, this was their Reshma box. This was their Henna-Infused box. And I believe total with the shipping, this one was $20. And it came with a shampoo and a conditioner, an oil, deep conditioning hair mask, and some dye, which is why my hair has been darker for the last few videos. It is starting to fade. You can see it's starting to turn a little more red right there. But yeah, it's my silvers are starting to come back, and I have a couple spots where it never really did quite take. Just anyway. So moving on. So we're going to do our review of that today. And so let's get started. Yes, let's get started. So the shampoo, this is their Henna shampoo, strengthening and volumizing. It is sulfate free. I don't think I ever really did take a look at the ingredients, but I don't believe any of them. This has aloe vera, extracts of henna, chamomile, hydrolyzed protein, white oak bark, you know, those kinds of things. There's no dimethicone. I don't think there's dimethicone in any of these, and I don't recall seeing any isopropyl alcohol in any of these, so I didn't have those kinds of issues with them. This had a decent lather. The scent is very light. It's been a little bit since I've used it. This shampoo is more like a clarifying shampoo for me. I love it when I can't explain what it smells like. It's light and fresh, almost citrusy, but not quite. Yeah, it's a very light scent, and it doesn't stay when you use it. It did give me the dreaded squeak, and it did leave my hair a bit tangled, but my hair didn't feel dry despite the tangle. It does cocktail with my Shea Moisture with a little change. There was a lot less tangling and none of the squeak, but no change in how my hair felt. Hair did not feel dry. The ends didn't even feel dry. But I did get that squeak that you get that indicates stripping. It was on the deeper, so it's a little different than that high-pitched squeak that I think is more, I don't know. I've noticed that shampoos can give me either a really high-pitched squeak or a low-pitched, and the low-pitched seems to be less problematic for my hair. I don't know if that means if it's just doing something differently, or if it's not actually stripping my hair and I'm just rubbing my hair the wrong way to check it, or what. But yeah, it gave me more the low-pitched kind of sound. It's not a shampoo that I would use every day, as I noted, and I will probably touch on it later. As I noted, I think that this is more of a shampoo I would use to, now I can't even think of it, something you use once in a while, a clarifier. I think I would use this more as a clarifier, so I wouldn't use it all the time. I'd use it, once every other week or once a month. I do have another clarifier now that I can alternate this with, so this is going to last me a long time. I'm not getting rid of it. I'm not unhappy with it. It's just not something that I would use all the time, and precisely because it does tangle. It does kind of give me that squeak that concerns me. But other than that, it's a good shampoo, and it didn't dry out my hair despite all that. So that was a really good thing. Next, we have the conditioner. This conditioner is much looser, as you can see. It's this reminded me more of a thick shampoo than of a conditioner. Most of my conditioners are much thicker than this. I had to work it in because of the tangles that were already in my hair from the shampoo. As you know, I generally try to test a line mostly by itself. Places where I can have trouble with that is if I don't get a leave-in conditioner, which I didn't here, or anything that I can work with my almond marshmallow. My almond marshmallow serum is a given, as has become my Diva Curl Curl Plumper. They are givens. If I do not have some sort of leave-in to work in with it, then I have to use my usual aftercare. But in general, I try to use a line mostly by itself. So this was used initially after the shampoo by itself. I had to work it in because of all the tangles, but once it worked in, it had a great slip. My hair didn't quite feel moisturized, but it wasn't dry. Not even at the ends. It was more like it was, after using this, it was more like my hair was clean, but balanced is like the only thing I could think of. It was, in a way, it was sort of like when I used the Shea Moisture Manuka Honey Before Oil, in the fact that it felt like my hair was clean and it was just my hair. There was no, it didn't feel like there was anything on it to make it feel like it was moisturized. It's hard to explain, but it felt very balanced. It felt like my clean hair, nothing on it. It felt, didn't feel as moisturized as I'm used to my hair feeling, but it wasn't dry down to the ends. My wet curl was okay, but not fantastic. It was nothing to write home about. It does work really well as a co-wash. This is a restoring and moisturizing. It's also sulfate free. My hair was moisturized with very slightly dry in the ends, but as we all know, my ends are really sensitive to that. Which was taken care of with a mask that I used afterwards. And my wet curl was pretty good. So this worked out really well as a co-wash. I've also cocktailed it with my Oars conditioner, which I love, and I really didn't see much of a difference. There wasn't much of a change in how it worked. So both of these, I thought that was interesting in that both of these did what they did. And even when I mixed it in with something else that was more moisturizing or whatever, it still did what it did without much change. The biggest concern was all the tangling. My hair, I know it sounds odd, but my hair is not prone to a lot of tangling, even with the curls. It's gotten a little bit more prone lately as the curls have started to amp up a little bit. Just a little bit. But in general, I don't use detanglers or anything like that because I don't have a whole lot of problem with tangles. So this shampoo kind of concerned me with the tangling, but like I said, my hair didn't feel dry. It didn't feel, it didn't feel like they were a problem. I just think that they are not something that I can use every day. I will have to use them for clarifying, clearing out the junk, so to speak, rather than as a daily, well, I don't wash daily anyway, but you know what I'm saying, a daily conditioner. So next we have this Reshma Henna-Infused hair serum. This was my favorite thing in the box. Of everything that I would consider repurchasing, this would be it. I'm already down to here on this serum, right about there. I don't know if you can see. So I've already used a significant amount. The serum is actually very affordable, though. I think this is like $12.99. I noticed a difference in my hair from the moment I put it on. It was smoother and curled a bit. Not as much as it does for my usual, for my Eden Body Works hair tonic, but there was some more curl. It also lasts longer than the hair tonic does. Hair tonic, I will get that curl initially, but it actually seems to fade a little bit over fairly quickly. Whereas this lasts a while. I've used this at different points in my routine. So when I initially used it in the beginning of the routine, the curl lasted longer. With the hair tonic, when I use my other products over it, it doesn't last so long. My frizz was definitely reduced using this. This has become my frizz fighter. My hair did get frizzier later in the day, but not as frizzy, and this lasted at least 10 hours for reducing my frizz. It says it can be used on hair wet or dry, but I found that it doesn't necessarily work as well on dry hair. Later in the day, when my hair started getting frizzy, I started using this again, and it just doesn't seem to get in there as well. What I have found the best use of this, though, which is going to be interesting, I've just started diffusing my hair. I don't seem to get a lot of volume. I don't know if I'm diffusing wrong, but I watched YouTube stuff and I do it the way they do it, and I don't get a lot of volume. I don't think with my hair I'm going to get a lot of volume. For one, it's been thinning for a few years, and then there's other things going on. So different hair type, all that stuff. So I don't have a lot of volume to begin with. When it was a curly, well, it wasn't even curly. When it was a fuzzy triangle on my head, I did get a lot of volume, but there was no curl. It was just a big, huge, you know, the way curly hair does, like say in humidity, where it just no definition, just a big poof ball. So I don't think I'm going to get a lot of volume. However, what I have found is one of the things with diffusing I've noticed, and I'm not sure why, is that I will get frizzier when I'm diffusing, and I'm working on figuring out how to bring that down. This actually is part of the solution to that. I will diffuse for a little while until my hair is hits that point of being damp. I mean, I don't start diffusing when my hair is really wet, but it is, you know, there's a point where your hair is not quite wet and also not really damp. So somewhere in that middle spot where it's just starting to hit that point, I use this then, and it helps with the frizz and the final curling. And as my hair finished drying, sometimes I will finish drying with the diffuser, sometimes I will diffuse for a while and let it finish drying on its own. Yeah, so that has become the biggest use of this. I've used it like I said, at the beginning of my after wash routine. I've used it at the end of my after wash routine. I've used it in the middle of the day, and then I used it in the middle of diffusing. And middle of diffusing seems to be the best place to use this. And I absolutely love it, and I do intend to repurchase. So after using these three and the Shea Moisture Manuka Honey Mafura Oil Deep Conditioning Mask, I will say my hair felt very soft and moisturized and absolutely no dryness, even after fully dry. I do think I prefer the shampoo cocktailed, just because the one thing that was concerning is the tangling, and when I cocktail it, there's a lot less tangling. And like I said, I much prefer to use this in the middle of my diffusing. These two, the shampoo and conditioner, I'm unlikely to repurchase, but I'm also not likely to need them again anytime soon. So that is not a big concern. But this one I will probably repurchase. So I'm going to talk about the Reshma Henna-Infused Deep Conditioning Hair Mask. So even if this was absolute gold, which unfortunately it's not, but even if this was absolute gold, I wouldn't buy it again. I don't like these packets. This particular packet had nothing set so that you could easily tear it open. Its packets are hard to store. I suppose for somebody who has much longer, much fuller, more thicker hair than mine, one of these packets, they would need one of these packets, but I only needed about half of it. And that meant storing the rest of it is, right now it's stored in a little container that I've marked Reshma on the top because these things do not store well. And this is the full size. This is how they sell it, or they sell it in a box with 12 of these in them. It's annoying, and honestly, I think it's a way to force a consumer to spend more on the product. This is $3.99 for this packet. No. That price, honestly, it's not worth that price, even if it was a really good thing. It's just too annoying to deal with. This conditioner would have been fine in a standard bottle or something like the Curl Plumper, something like one of these. It would have been fine in one of these. It would have been fine in a standard conditioner or bottle like this. Anything but this packet would have been much better to me. So I didn't bring out my little container that I put what was left into. So, but this has a really thin consistency, so I can't show you because I don't have the container. More like a really loose shampoo. It was looser than this conditioner. It's very, very thin. However, once it went into my hair, it seemed to thicken up as I worked it in, and it became much more like a cream type texture consistency. It rinsed out easily. My hair felt soft and moisturized, but honestly no more than if I had used a good regular conditioner. My wet curl was surprisingly flat. I mean, there was almost none of it. It did restore some. The curl did restore some with my Shea Moisture Milk, but not to what I'm used to seeing. This was okay. It's nothing impressive. Like I said, even if it was pure gold, even if it had absolutely crazy benefits for my hair, I wouldn't have repurchased it just because of the way it's sold. But it's just not even worth that. It's not even worth that much. So for me, this was a fail in the box. It's just wasn't even worth it. Didn't do anything. This is the Reshma Henna Rich Conditioning Semi-Permanent Hair Color in Natural Dark Brown. I think this takes 6 weeks to fade. Anyway, that's why I'm still working on it. This was the biggest disappointment in the box, I'll tell you that. My daughter helped me with this since I've not done this in forever. I dyed my hair 30 years ago once. I dyed it into a burgundy. I like the color burgundy. I like purples and burgundy. What can I say? And she quickly decided that the brush that came with it was a pain in the butt. The box barely covered my hair, so if you have thicker, fuller hair, you're going to need more than one box of these. She said it smelled like it looked like a kale smoothie and smelled as bad. That was her saying. But it didn't stain as badly as she expected either, because, you know, hair colors will stain if you're not careful. When I rinsed it out, my hair was so dry. It was like almost like straw. I had to use 3 times as much of my pre-cons during the rinse, which gave me slip, but it was still dry. So I used at least twice as much of another one and let it sit, then washed and conditioned with my Shea Moisture, and finally deep conditioned. And even after regular conditioning and all of that, my hair felt a little better, but the ends were still dry. So this stuff is dry as fuck. I'm sorry, it will dry out your hair. It's terrible. I would never. My wet curl was shit and my hair was frizzy. It was terrible. I put it under the heating cap for a couple of reheats. And even after the cap, it didn't feel as moisturized as usual. Never again. Never again. The coverage is good. The color definitely has, for lack of a better word, pigmentation. It definitely covered my grays. It definitely gave me darker hair. I've gotten a lot of compliments on it, but never again. Never. I do not recommend this. If you value your hair, I do not recommend this at all. Avoid. Just, yeah, no, don't. No. That was terrible. I can't wait for it to finish washing out. I feel like, for me, I feel like it came out too dark. Like I said, I've gotten a lot of compliments on it, but it just, I would never use it again. Never. Just never use it again. Value my hair too much, and it's better. It took a couple of different washings and using pre-cons and conditioning like crazy afterwards to get it to feel more normal again. And then just recently as well, I ended up cutting off the last couple of inches. I think I had to cut off. So a lot of those dry ends are gone now anyway. But yeah, that was terrible. So not good. But too expensive. Da bomb. And these guys are okay. Overall, I think the box was a good box. This, like I said, this is, I believe, is $12.99. It might be $9.99. So these 3, I think, were worth the $20. The other 2, not so much. I wouldn't repurchase the shampoo and conditioner. I will repurchase this very soon, I'm sure. I mean, I'm down to here, and I've only had the box, what, about a month? But yeah, so that's my opinion on the Reshma, on the Henna-Infused box. It was an okay box. It was a really good box. It gave me a new holy grail for my hair for when I'm diffusing. It does really help. And that's part of the purpose of trying these boxes, is finding products that you will use again and again and again. And I did find one in here. And for a lot of the CurlBoxes, I've enjoyed the products, but they are not products that I would repurchase. I will repurchase the Shea Moisture stuff. Obviously, I love it. But most of the boxes, not really. I have enjoyed the Oars box. So, you know, I've actually been considering unsubscribing from CurlBox. Not because I dislike it. Honestly, I think it's worth it to test out new stuff, because especially if you're starting your hair journey, you have no idea where to begin. And for me, I had no idea where to begin, and they gave me some stuff. And I found a lot of products that I absolutely love. I cannot repurchase all of them, even if I love them, just for money's sake. And that's part of the reason I've been considering stopping the CurlBox and possibly maybe just getting the special boxes when they come up. But I'm still considering that. I haven't made that decision. I did mention that in my Facebook group, and they said that I should probably, they really thought that I should keep the box because they enjoy the CurlBox unboxings. And I've noticed that the CurlBox unboxings can get some of my higher views. So it's a puzzle, because we need to save a little money somewhere, and the CurlBox is $25 a month. But I do like it. It's just, it's a financial thing that I've been thinking about. Anyway, So that's it for today, and I hope you like what you've seen. And if you have and are not subscribed, I hope you will subscribe. And if you do subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I upload. I upload 4 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, but I also occasionally do special uploads. We're going to be getting one in this month, as you will soon find out. And we get one in summer, so every week in the summer, at least. So we do occasionally have extra things that you're going to want to be notified about. And if you're part of the notification squad, oh, yes, indeed, you need to check your bell because they are still getting knocked off. Really? You'd think they could fix this by now. You'll also want to check your subscription status because apparently, yeah, they've been doing stuff with the subscriptions lately. People are finding their subscriber count lower, and not just because they recently purged a whole bunch of spam accounts. There's been other people saying that they've been knocked off. So check your subscription, check your bell, and if you don't subscribe, well, you know, I would be disappointed, but I would also understand because, you know what, I'm not everyone's cup of tea. However, even if you don't subscribe, you are always welcome to come back again. We would welcome you with open arms in our casa. And if you do come back again, don't forget to bring your cup of tea. Here we go, folks. Let's hope the 2 bags did it. Okay, so it is still a very, very mild tea. But with the 2 bags, I'm not getting a lot of the ginger. There's a touch of it at the very end of the sip. It's very, very tiny. However, I am getting the lemon, and it's good. And because of the way I sugar my teas, it's not really, really tart, but you're getting that citrus flavor without the sourness. So it's really nice. Ended up working out much better with 2 bags, which makes me kind of sad because these teas are not like my stash teas. My stash teas I can get for $2 to $3 over at Kroger, and these I'd have to buy online, and they would not be $2 or $3 a box, unfortunately. Recommended if you want to buy it online. I would buy one of their bigger packages because I believe Ahmad teas and a lot of the box teas that I get in my Sips Buy not only have the regular, 15 to 20 bag boxes, but sometimes they have them in bulk. So check it in bulk if you're interested. And yeah, it's a good tea. I'm enjoying it. I'm glad that one worked out. Love that lemon. Love me some lemon. Anyway, I hope you all have a great evening.